Great to see all of you here. Today is August the 24th, Sunday. We're recording this call. And my name is Ariona, your host today. And today we have Katie, who is co-hosting, Katie Amodio. And we've got Carol and Robin and Rodell and Karen and others probably behind the scenes, just thanking everybody for being here and thanking all of you. It's always a privilege to be in this group. It's an honor to be in this group. Uh, so what we're going to do first is I'd like to show you the disclaimer, and Robin will bring that up. And
Can you see it?
so basic, hmm? Yeah, we
Just
see it.
checking you can see
I
it.
see it. I hope everybody sees it. Yeah, so basically this disclaimer is just saying that, to always talk to your doctor before making any health related changes, no matter what is being suggested or shared here. Always check with your doctor before you do anything health wise, with remedies or anything else. So, yeah, let's also do some announcements first so we can go ahead and do that. If you'd like to share the announcements, Katie.
I would. I'm thinking that probably all of you get the email newsletter, and there is so much information in those newsletters, including, as always, our self-guided courses that are wonderful, self-paced, on call when you're ready, when you want to deeper dive into the ancient secrets. And there's Ancient Secrets 101. There's the 100 Days course, which is quite an in-depth experience and really wonderful. And the 30-day and the 7-day self-guided delicious detox, which are fabulous. And you do get support with those. The big announcement is that as some of you know, Dr. Clint is saying goodbye to Ayush Shakti and hello to new opportunities. That's very exciting. And because we're making this change, he's offering half off of consultations for the next 2 weeks. And I am looking to see where the link is for that. We'll figure it out and get that in the chat for you. But for the next 2 weeks, consultations with Dr. Vinay or another Vaidya practitioner will be available for half off. So instead of being $150, it's only $75. Totally worth it. That's the big announcement. And Carol Ray has some information for us on an offering coming from Gary Malkin and Hope Fitzgerald that looks amazing. Carol?
Does look amazing. Maybe you can see this beautiful flyer. So this concert is called We Rise as One. It's a peace concert for uniting and healing and inspiring. It's celebrating the International Day of Peace and the 80th anniversary of the UN. So before the concert starts, which is at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco on the 27th of September, our own Gary Malcolm and Hope Fitzgerald are going to be having a workshop from graceful passages to move from grief to gratitude, and that's limited to 70 people. So if you're in the San Francisco area or looking for an excuse for a vacation in San Francisco, this would definitely be a great opportunity. And then there's a networking event followed by the concert for peace that will be held in Grace Cathedral from starting at 8 p.m. So more information in the newsletter and on the website here, globalwisdomfoundation.org / We Rise as One. Thanks.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you, Katie. What we'd like to do next is just to get us kind of settled in our beings. We're going to go ahead and have a look at a video and a listen. This is something that Vinod created, and Rodell, or is it Robin or Rodell? Do you have that to pull up? It's a beautiful video and just go ahead and just take a deep breath in and let it out. And if your feet are on the floor, feel the earth. And if your feet aren't on the floor, just feel your connection with the earth and groundedness.
So Vinod is actually here now, and I'm hoping
Yes,
that we can put our hands together and show
yes,
him a big blast of love and appreciation for what he's done here. So Vinod, thank you for
absolutely.
this beautiful piece of art. We're putting our hands together in gratitude for you. Jeremy, you want to add something?
Yes. Thank you, Vinod. As always, you're always amazing to me. Also, to let everyone know that Vinod's piece is on collection number 1 of the Love, Music, and Poetry Project to benefit our orphan kids in Nepal. There should be some information in the chat today, and I will I'll pass along more as time goes on. But if you would like this collection with 5 other wonderful pieces of music, make a donation to the Ancient Secrets Foundation of $6 or more. You get all 6 MP3 recordings sent to you by email. I'll put my email address in there and let me know that you've made a donation, and I will make sure to get those to you. And we're getting ready to send them out. So thank you very much, Ariona and Katie, and all
Thank
the best
you.
stuff next. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
Vinod, I tell you, it's such a beautiful piece. I mean, the scenery and the music and just that feeling, it just gives you the feeling of grounding with Pachamama, Mother Earth. It's gorgeous, really wonderful. And as we all know, nature just Nature just heals us. So
I'm
thank you so
I'm not
much.
sure where that is, but I'd like to go there.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Well, I wanted to also
Just,
welcome any new people. If there's any new people here, please put your name in the chat, and that would be wonderful.
can
We
I say
welcome
something?
you with open arms and open heart. I'm so happy you're here.
Somebody phoned.
And
Somebody
excuse
phoned
me,
me. Oops, I'm sorry.
some
Um, I'm sorry. I was on mic. What Jerem asked where this was, or somebody asked where it was.
oh,
One of those shots was Moraine Lake in Banff, Alberta. The shot of
oh,
the lakes, the blue water with the mountains
yeah,
behind
yeah.
it. It's called Moraine Lake. It's in Banff, Canada area, Banff National Park.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, that
You're
was a
welcome.
gorgeous picture. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Randy. Good to see you. All right. Well, let's bring the quote up for the day, if we can. And so I have to let you know, um, I knew I was facilitating today, and I said to myself, well, which quote, And I said, no, 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 I'm not going to pick it. I'm going to just go into meditation and the right quote will appear, right? And so I did that, and I just opened the book, boom, right to this page. And it's always so interesting, the synchronicity of these events for me, because, when I first saw that, I said, yeah, that's a really good quote. And then the more, as time came up, even into my morning meditation, I went, wow, this quote could have been more meaningful to me. And I'm sure is meaningful for you as well. One of the things that I first thought when I very first looked at the quote, I thought, there's so many ways to look at this. And what really is completion, right? There's so many ways we can look at this. And you know what I'd really like to do for a moment, if we could, is just if you can leave the quote up there just for a moment longer, that would be wonderful. Could you do that? Riddell, put it back up, or Robin? And just leave it up there for a moment until it, and then in just a couple moments we can take it down. But what I'd really love is if everybody just close their eyes for a moment, and just close your eyes for a moment and feel your feet on the ground, or feel the connection with earth, the grounding, and just take a deep breath and really feel that. And then, if you would, just bring up that word completion. See it in your mind's eye. And just contemplate it for a moment with your eyes shut. Contemplate, what is the meaning of completion? Because it has many layers, right? It's got, kind of a surface layer of completing things, right? Completing projects. Maybe you have a dream and you're going to complete a dream. You're going to complete tasks. You're going to complete, things that you have goals for. And that's all great. That level of completion is wonderful. Sometimes you complete things, sometimes you don't, because you move on to something else. And all that's wonderful. And then if we go just a little bit deeper, and keep your eyes shut for just a moment, because I really want people to go within, all of us, and really look a little deeper. Like, what is completion? Like, when it comes to relationships, what is completion? Just ponder that for just a moment. And let's ponder our communications with one another. What's completion when we think of that? And let's think, sometimes in our past, what's completion with our past? what are traumatic experiences in our past. And they don't have to be big, huge traumas. It can be little traumas too. They could be all sorts of things that maybe aren't complete. Still with your eyes shut, take a deep breath and just let it all out. Let it all go into the still with our eyes shut. Just think for a moment on all these levels. You can pick any level. Let's think about something that's maybe incomplete in your life. Just think about it for a moment. What's incomplete? And how could you possibly complete that? What could you do to complete that? Just contemplate that for a moment. And how do you think you would feel if you completed that? Again, this can be anything. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's a dream, maybe it's, communication. You had an argument with someone, it never got resolved. Maybe it's something you've stuffed inside of yourself. It's just not complete. Well, how would you feel if it was? How would you feel if it was complete? Take a deep breath in. What do you feel? Let's imagine that whatever that thing is complete. Just feel that feeling for a moment. And now, still with your eyes shut, let's think of a time when we did complete something. Again, anything on any of those levels, all those levels, it's whatever you want to pick. No level is any better than any other one. Just pick what it is that comes up for you. And imagine a time you've completed something. Remember that time. You completed it. And what's that feeling? What does that feel like? Feel your heart. What does that feel like in your body when you completed it? Take a deep breath. Really feel that feeling. That thing complete. Now, let's go ahead and open your eyes. You can take down the quote if you want, or you can leave it up. So, with that in mind, we will move into some sharing. So I have a couple things to share quickly, and then we'll move over to Katie, and then anyone else who feels like sharing. Because the thing about that quote that I love is you feel that lightness in your being. It's not that we're preparing to go to the next life or to the other side and we have to complete, although completion before you leave here is also very good. But how about completing things so that when we wake up for the next sunrise, we feel that lightness in our being, in our soul. So for myself, some people know some of my stories. I'm not going to go into them all. I have a lot of stories, colorful stories. But I will say that both my father and my mother passed very suddenly, and my dad when I was 16, and my mother when I was 30. It was very sudden. My mom, I had a little more forewarning, but not not really. So what's interesting in both those deaths is that it was sudden, and I didn't feel like in that moment, you don't feel when someone dies suddenly like that, you don't feel like you have completion. And for some reason, when my dad died, I knew I had to complete. It was imperative I complete. And so I spoke with him, right not too long after he died. I was there when he died. And so I spoke to him immediately. And I'd had a very difficult relationship with my dad. And I shared emotions and how I felt. Uh, at the time I was 16, and I'm not suggesting people if he was alive, I wouldn't have said this, but he was gone, and I let him know because I had hate and anger in my being, and I let him know it, and I really let it all out. And it's good to let it out, but if the person was alive, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that at all. There's ways to talk about your anger, not actually yelling it out at a person, right? But I chose in that moment to let it out the way I let it out. And shortly thereafter, I um, I went ahead and realized, oh my God, I love him. And then I had a whole wave of love come over me, and I went, oh my God. So I went back, and just told him how much I loved him. Uh, and that I of course had to have many more completions after that, but that was such a good beginning for me. And I bring up that story because many times people, when a person dies and they haven't felt complete, they don't have that conversation. And it's really important to have that conversation, whatever the conversation is. So often we just need to tell them we love them, right? And, or whatever else is incomplete. And so if a person dies, you still can complete. You can write them a letter. You can go out in a forest and let them know how you feel, you know, and and so I bring that up as an important thing. And the same with my mother. So the point with both of those, I had arguments with both of them before they died. So I had a terrible communication with both of them, and then they shockingly died, both of them. So figure there's a lesson there for me in life. I have always, ever since then, because of what I learned was, oh my God, I've got to complete right now. So if I had an argument with someone or anything that was on my mind, I'd seek them out immediately and be like, come on, we got to work this through, you know? And sometimes people don't want to work it through, and I've had to learn that in my life. Sometimes they don't want to talk about it and they shut down or they go out of your life. And so the real completion that we have to have is within our own being, right? Within our own being. We have to reach a place of completion where we release it. And that can be you're forgiving and releasing them and yourself. And why don't we just take a quick moment and do this, Marma, the forgive and release? Because this is a wonderful Marma if you're beginning on your trek to completion. I think this is really imperative. So you have your left hand, for those of you that don't know this Marma, and you're going to pinch right here in the web of your hand between your thumb and your forefinger. And you're going to pinch right where it hurts, right where it hurts, right in there. So we're going to do this. Take a deep breath in, and then we're going to push 6 times. Think of something that you want to forgive and release. And we'll go right now. And we'll push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll do this we're going to do this the full 6 set of 6. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ah, so that's a great way to start with completion. And did you want to say something, Jeremy?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ariana. So I wanted to just mention that Gary Malkin's brother, Stephen, is on the call right now via my phone. Stephen made an effort to get here this morning. His Zoom is not working, unfortunately, but Stephen, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay,
Thanks.
great. So I just wanted to take a moment to send Stephen a blast of love from everybody here, because we've gone through some health challenges and could really use our support. And I know how powerful an infusion we can do through this call. So let's just rub our hands together and send that to Stephen. And we'll say, I love you and I'm with you, Stephen.
Stephen,
Love you and I'm
love
with
you
you.
and I'm with you.
Steven.
Love you and I'm with you.
Steven.
Love
I
you and
love
I'm
you
with
and
you,
with
Stephen.
Love you and I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you.
I'm with you, Stephen.
May Stephen know his connection to
Connection with
Hashem
Hashem
and
and
feel a
know a
deep
deep
inner
inner
peace.
peace.
Oh,
Love it. That's a soul song that a group of us were in Sedona and we came up with that. Or Gary worked with Stephen and they came up with Stephen's soul song. And we had the privilege of being there, Susan and I, in that group, and maybe others in the audience. It was so powerful. And I'm so happy to see you here, Stephen.
Yeah.
Very happy to see you here. Much love.
Chrissy.
Thank you.
Much love.
We're
Much
sending you
love.
prayers all the time, Stephen, and holding you in the highest and the best with so much love. This
Absolutely.
is Susan Ingman.
Wow.
And
Love
we've
you.
had you in our prayer group, sending
I
you
want
lots of
to
love.
one more quick thing is I had a nice conversation on the phone with Stephen yesterday and found out that he writes poetry, and he is willing to explore the possibility of including one of his poems on our Love, Music, and Poetry project. So that's very exciting to me.
Ooh, wonderful.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank you all.
Thank you. And thank you. So next, I would like to just turn this to Katie. Katie, you have a story you'd like to share, and then we can get to the rest of the audience here.
Well, I have a couple of things. So, what came up for me immediately when you said that this was going to be the quote was completion of my relationship. My relationship to my relationship with my mother was not good, was not healthy ever. I mean, I knew from the time that I was in her womb that she did not want me. And that it was very clear from as early as I can remember that whatever unhappiness was in her life from the point of me on was my fault and my responsibility. And I, was a child. I took it personally. I thought it was me. I thought it was my fault. And what I know now is that she was a very unhealthy, unhappy, lonely, in a lot of pain woman who could not love a daughter. It wouldn't have mattered who I was. I could have been anybody in a female body. And my mother could not love that girl or woman. She loved her sons. And I tried. I'm very stubborn, and I really I thought that I could love her. It's the whole cycle of abuse thing. I thought that I could fix her. I thought I could love her. into wellness, that somehow I could repair that. But just as Ariona said, you know, not everybody wants to play, right? Not everybody wants to talk about things. And she was quite clear that she did not want to talk about it. And it was incredibly painful. When I first met Dr. Clint, one of the three things that he asked, what 3 things, what do you want? And one of them was that I wanted to be able to love my mother without it hurting me. And I used to forgive and forget, Marma, a lot. I have done tons of therapy and all kinds of inner work things. And it really, I held out until the very end. She decided that she was done with her life this past October and told us all that she was going into hospice. And there wasn't really anything wrong. She just decided it was time to die. And we had better, it seemed like we were having a little bit better communication. I really, once being introduced to the ancient secrets, I really, really put into practice as best I could and can the principles of Atiti Deva Bhava and Atmiyata, of no matter how someone treats you, you can treat them with love and respect. And so I did that with my mother. And I really felt sorry for her. I could see how much in pain, emotional pain. She was so tight. She was so tightly wound and so tightly strung. And I just thought, okay, I can be kind. I can be kind. And then I think, I still was holding out a little bit of hope that something would be different. She died. And the terms of her will and trust made it very clear that she really did not love me. And I cannot tell you first what a punch to the gut that was I had to sit down. I could hardly breathe. And then it was just like, okay, I was right. And it was so clear to me in that moment that it wasn't personal, that it was not about me at all. There wasn't anything that I could have done or been or said or anything that would have changed her, because that was her choice. And the sense of it's finished. So we just hung this photo up the other day, and that's kind of how it felt. Was like the light came out, the rainbows came out, like I'm fine. I'm done. It is finished. Whatever our karma was, it's over. It's just done. And that sense of freedom, like I could breathe in a way that I hadn't been able to breathe for 66 years. And so I might be a little slow on the uptake, but it was worth the wait.
Wow. Wow.
That is such a beautiful story, Katie. I mean,
Wow,
just
Katie.
beautiful, the whole process that you took yourself through and the realizations and then just feeling and realizing it had nothing to do with you. I mean, wow. And the freedom from that feeling. And how many of you ever watch Katie on here, and she's always got a smile on her face and she's joyful and happy. And, I mean, by releasing and completing in our lives, that brings that, now you have the space, to really feel that. It's such a beautiful story.
So Katie, I
Thank you
just
so
wanted
much.
to ask you a quick question about that. And I know that when we first met you, you were in a wheelchair. Is there a connection between when you said you had to sit down I saw you sitting down in the wheelchair. Was there a connection with that phase of your life and the relationship with your mom? I'm just curious.
Well, I think that how I got into that situation was because of a lot of childhood trauma and other experiences that I really needed to give myself a rest. I needed to be cared for and taken care of, and I would not have allowed that had I not been in such dire need of care and being cared for. So yeah.
Beautiful share. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for the question too, Carol, because I had that same question. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So, who would like to share from the audience anything that you have completed, want to complete, anything that you're pondering? Let's go ahead, Nehemiah. I see your hand up,
Just a
Nehemiah.
moment,
Did
I'm
you
coming
wanna-
up. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
there you are. You're coming. Yep, we hear
I
you.
want to. This group have been for me the wish fulfilling tree, especially the breakout room. I'm always there with wherever I'm supposed to be and things happening. And sometimes I have T for 2, 2 for 3, and amazing things happen. Like one-on-one. So the completion, I did it before, so I like it in short. But my relationship with my father was excellent, even though I didn't know him personally, because he left this world in a war in 1948, which he tried to prevent. But he was my first guru. And he came to me and appeared to me in a vision when I was in India in an ashram. And he told me, I'm passing you to your master, who is another guru, a realist being. My father wasn't a realist. And you have only one task to do, which is to bring my other son to God. And my brother, Amishai, he gave him the name gift to my people. He was gift to his people. He was a wonderful karma yogi. But he never believed in God because he came from enculturation in Israel, which don't believe in God. So before he left this world, people here know it because I shared it. Some people were there. So the blessing from here, from other group of healers, my brother told me before he left this world, Shalom Nehemiah v'leitraot. He responded, peace be with you. I came to him to say bye-bye to him, and I'll see you from the next world. He accepted God. The mission was accomplished. Now, I told my nephew, who is the father of my godchild, my goddaughter, that if my brother would choose to be born, he would choose to be born to his family, because there he can go spiritually. And they have a son, and this son connect me like on the phone, like he's a few months old, like he knows me. And in 3 years from now, we'll do the test. We'll give him the test of give him the Buddhist test. We'll give him different things that, or 2 years from now, that we have to belong to my brother. And if he go to the thing, if he was like the Buddhist, we know that he's my brother coming back. So that mission accomplished to the best abilities. The mission that I'm trying to accomplish now, and I'll finish with this, is also helping for people from here. Michael Smith wished to be with me in a group because he felt he need to learn something from me in the Kabbalah. So his wish was fulfilled. And he was with me together with Elmo, that doesn't speak but have so much wisdom from Senegal. Senegal is the place where heaven is always there. The Muslim, the Buddhist, and the Christian and the present religion live together, and the current prime minister is Sufi. So Elmo and Mike were with me in the group. And last week, Elmo, Shifra, and myself were fulfilling my next task, which is the biggest one. I'm frightened of it, but I really full of it, to go to Israel on the Zoom and to bring peace to the people who are doing peace, Jewish and Arabs. So we were with a group, and I just mentioned this and I'll finish. We were with a group that is called Satyam because they fulfill the idea of Gandhi, Satyam, and the non-violent. And they basically fasting for already the leader already for 60 some days. They are a couple of Palestinian and Israeli, and they're fasting already for 63 days on water only, like Gandhi did, to bring end to the starving in Gaza. So I joined. I fasted for 10 days. I did the ancient secret instead of 7 days, 10 days. Elmo joined the fast. He was with me in the meeting. And there are people all around the world fasting and creating energy. So if you want to join this, you go to Satyam and check it on the Google, and you can be on the map wherever you are to expand this cycle. And my job is to bring the breastwork to the people, Jewish and Arab. But that I'll tell you another time. That's
Thank
the
you so
biggest.
much, Nehemiah. Your first completion was great. I love it going from here to the other world and back and that whole completion. And it sounds like you've got a new mission underway, which is a worthy mission. Let's go to Shifra. Hi, Shifra.
Hi, Ariona. Beautiful, beautiful job, and thank you, Katie, for your just you're such a person of love. The thing when I did the meditation, the thing that came to me was do your best to make it whole. Your best. Nothing is ever. You could always do more. It's not about obsession. It's about clarity. Not about And the thing that came to mind was when I got off of psych meds. I had been withdrawing for years. I had lost my voice. I couldn't talk. And I gradually came off everything. And I had aimed for January 1st of 2017, but I was still on 50 milligrams. And I just thought this is not a good idea to go from 50 to 0, because my goal was to get off and stay off indefinitely, not to get off and then be back on again. And I had a lot of help with it, and I extended it for another 5 months. It turned out it was my birthday. I worked it out with a holistic healer, and when I did it, I was only going from like 6.5 milligrams to 0, which was very little, and it was just very peaceful that I was off those drugs, and I have stuck to that for the last it's over 8 years now. That was a huge thing. The other thing I'm working on, it was huge, and it was very slow. So if you're ever coming off those medications, please get support and do it slowly, so that it's safe. Anyway, and sustainable. Also, I just finished where I look at my life and, different areas like resentment, fear, sex conduct, etc., where I've hurt people, and I just completed that part of it, and then the next part of it is to go on to make amends to people, and that feels good. So I don't have to walk around feeling guilty all the time. That I can feel a sense of integrity. And the other thing, so I want to complete that, and the other piece is that I want to go to I want to go see my mother in Kenya. This woman said she'd be my mother like in 2006, and she has been as good as her word. And I want to go see Wanjiru. And I want to do that without getting vaccinated, if that's possible. And I want to, and I really want to go to Palestine and Israel, and be there for like a month and continue peacemaking work and do the work with Nehemiah, but also just to do that, to be there again. I haven't been there since 1983. And yeah. And I just want to do a shout out to Levi. Levi came on Transformation Station yesterday, and he was like so well received. He was talking about his tattoos with a purpose and a little bit about his story, and he inspired people. There was somebody who's really, really down, and he was lifted up. I was trying really hard to lift up my friend, and people wanted Levi's number, and it was just very, very inspiring. And I just want to say one other thing. He said he was doing the miracle experiment or experience game, and I said, "Oh, I'll do it next year." He was like, "No, you can't wait till next year." I am going to do it next year with you all, but we're going to do it together. So we've been doing it together every single day. So except weekends, yeah. So anyway, that's a sense of completion. Like you want to feel like you're in integrity with your life and present, and yeah, that's it. Thanks.
That's beautiful. And I love how you shared when you do complete the feeling is no more guilt, no more shame, and it's just that freedom from that baggage that we carry around.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
How
A
to you,
beautiful share.
Shifra?
Beautiful share. Leonore,
Hi. Good morning. I
good
would like
morning.
to respond to Katie's experience with her mother. Mine was not as drastic as hers, but my mother also left her body quite buttoned up and inaccessible to her daughters, really, and to me, who she always thought was the black sheep of the family. But I was there before she passed in Germany, and I was fully there for her, although she had rejected me pretty much from the beginning. And I also felt that early on in my life. But when she passed, and I knew she passed alone in a hospital without being accompanied by anybody, no family member, I knew that a completion what happened that would go beyond her physical form and beyond her death, because I feel that phase of us sharing, walking together on this planet was over. But I believe that the soul is still involved, like ancestors are with their offspring, and we are with the ancestors. So I believe that completion was a phase and the beginning to something else, where because we choose our parents, some people say, we give our parents actually a chance to learn from us, and we learn, of course, from them. And I feel that in the end, my mother may have opened up herself in the other world to the love that her daughters wanted to give her. So that completion is for me not done with, over. It's like a phase that brought to mind a poem which is very famous by Hermann Hesse. It's called the Stufengedicht, and he mentions how we with joy walk through rooms. And Stufengedicht means step by step. There's a very good English translation of that poem. So it is really the foundation when we complete something to something else. But what I'm in writing now notes on how I am extrapolate on the theme is this. To me, the completion is a point of calm and peace and desirelessness. However, because it's the foundation for something new, it's the pause that counts, the pause before we invite the next dynamics, we engage again. So the pausing is in all spiritual teachings, I think, a really important phase within phases. So that's my contribution for that. Thank you.
Beautiful, Leonore. Thank you. Sibylla. Sibylla, how do I say your name correctly? Is it Sibylla?
Yeah,
Okay, Sibylla.
the last fine. Well, in my case, I also had a very, very difficult relationship with my mother. In particular, I think when I was a baby, I didn't, but in particular after my father died suddenly when I was like 15, and I think that I was very close to him. I was closer to my dad than I was to my mother at that time, and it was devastating for me. I have to say, it was really devastating because my father was he was from he had left Europe, Austria, just before the Second World War, and his family was all in Germany, or some of them, his parents were in the Czech Republic behind what in that time was called the Iron Curtain. So my father was the only person of his family, and then there was my mother's family, and I didn't really, they were kind of screamers, all of them. They fought a lot and screamed a lot and things like that. So I didn't really feel close to. I felt close to some of my cousins, but not my aunts and uncles. So when my father died, I was devastated. And then my mother was just as devastated or worse because we all depended on my dad for, for love and succor. It was my dad. My dad came home from work and we all sat around him and we all told him our stories. So when my dad died, the family just totally broke apart. And my mother actually wasn't there for us after my father died. And then she got very cruel and things. I guess it was her menopause. I guess afterwards that it was her menopause years. Anyway, she was extremely angry and cruel most of the time. But there was sometimes, when we were very needy, that she became again loving. She didn't like us to be independent. So I had a love-hate relationship with my mother, I think, all my life until she died. And then after she died, I hadn't completed with her. I tried talking to her and things, but I hadn't completed. And it took about 2 years afterwards, and there was a moment in which I realized, sort of I was just after a meditation, I was just sort of writing things, and then I suddenly was overcome by grief and sadness, and I realized, that she was innocent. She did the best that she could, and I couldn't, and I cried and cried and cried for days because I realized that I had, really hated her for things that she couldn't help. She just couldn't. She did absolutely the best that she could, and she was haunted herself by her own traumas and things. And so I finally completed with her, So now
Beautiful.
she, what happens when what happened to my thing when I completed with her is that she's sort of around, like in a way I can remember her, I can talk to her. It's like she was in another country kind of thing, like she's not completely disappeared, And for my father, it took me much longer because I just could not get over the grief of his loss.
Mm.
So long, really. It was, I think, the biggest trauma in my life, actually.
Mm.
So,
Well, boy, touching, heartfelt story. Thank you so much for sharing. And I mean, how much she went through with all of that, just I really feel it. And getting to that point of the empathy with your mother, being able to see, wow, she really did the best she could, and
yeah,
again, it's sort of like what Katie said, it didn't have anything to do with you and the kids. She was probably going through all of
exactly.
her stuff, which is her stuff,
Exactly.
and to realize that. And then it almost is like, the forgiveness and the love comes in,
Yeah,
when we have that
yeah,
empathy, the forgiveness and the love comes in.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Hard things to go through, though. I mean, and I knew she loved me, but in her own way,
Hmm.
But
Yes.
but the fact was that at times she was extremely cruel. Yeah,
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
with me and my sister. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to let go there, to
Yeah,
forgive
it
and let
is.
go.
There's a lot to let
Because it
go.
had it has an impact when people behave that way.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your heartfelt share.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Sharon, you're up next. If you're,
Yeah,
are
I
you there?
can. Yeah,
There you,
I can hear me now.
there you go. Yeah.
I was going to say thank you for doing this program for me today. I so appreciate. I resonate with absolutely everything that you were talking about. And by the way, I think you beautifully organized, and I love the music. But in hindsight, I realized my mother's mother didn't have a mother. I would that I had been a trauma informed 2-year-old, but I was going to say, oh, I don't even want to go into the whole thing. I think I'm going to keep this program and do it on speed dial. But I had, okay, I would go to bed every night wondering if I was going to be killed before I woke up in the morning. And obviously I wasn't. We're still going.
Mm.
But completing things has definitely been a challenge for me, a challenge for me. But we've had 9 dogs. Now, why am I talking about the dogs? Well, I've had several dogs that I've gotten off the street, and I've had several dogs that have had papers, but one dog in particular, we got from the animal shelter. And you know, he really was a very nice dog. He had some issues on the surface. He was a very nice dog, but we had, you know, lovely food, nice water dish. But he would lick the water off the chairs in the morning. And it took me a long time to figure out that that was his habit, because when he was living on the street, that was where he got his water.
Mm.
And as a practice for myself, I'm going to try to see where I'm still licking water off chairs when
Mm.
when there's a beautiful bowl right there. Thank you.
Sharon, beautiful. Beautiful analogy. Beautiful analogy.
Can we send Sharon some love?
Yes.
For you, sweet Sharon. We love you and we see you. We honor you. We love you.
And I visualize that bowl of water. And that,
Oh, yes, thank you.
yeah.
And you guys, by completing the yoga teacher training that I'm doing now.
Mm.
I'm very good at starting projects, but and actually I've completed 2, so third time's a charm, right?
Completion happens when completion happens. And it's all good whenever it happens.
Mm.
Thank you so much for your share. And thank all of you for your shares today. I see we're getting on with our time here. And we're going to be going out to breakout rooms. And just before we go, I would just ask all of you a suggestion to just at some point today give some contemplation to things you'd like to complete in your life. Maybe write a list. Maybe there's no list, but whatever, to maybe do that. Because as you've seen from all these shares, when people do complete, and it can be completing anything, it doesn't just have to be, the things we've talked about today. It can be anything. But when we do complete, you probably have noticed the feelings that people have, right? Of freedom, letting go of guilt, letting go of shame, freedom. And the more we free up, then the more we feel this and feel joy. So my love goes out to all of you. Thank you for being here today. Are we ready for breakout rooms? Thank you all too. Thank you, Katie, so much for your co-hosting. Love you. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Rodell. Thank you, everybody. And all of you who shared and all of you who didn't share. Glad you were all here today.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up.
Yeah.
So before we do the breakout rooms, we're going to rub our hands together and do the I love you and I'm
yes,
with you.
please. Love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm
I
with
love
you.
you and I'm with
And
you.
I'm with you, אני אוהב
I love
אתכם
you
ואני
and I'm with
איתכם, I
you.
love you and I'm with you.
Love you and
I love you and I'm with
Love you and I'm
you.
with you. Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Else, my relation with my mother was perfect. I love her and she loves me. And she had terrible arthritis in her arm, and I gave her massage. Well, I watched the masseurs came and did it, and then I learned how to do it myself, and I massaged her until this rheumatism or arthritis disappeared after many, 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 many years. Yes, of course, the basic cause of her problem was her husband. It's not the arthritis, it's the frustration with my father. When my father died, the whole problem disappeared. I don't know.
And you could do that.
Of your daughter. If you can find the problem and solve that basic problem that triggered her problems, maybe the whole thing is from another aspect, you know. Well, although I love her, but I want my freedom, so I'm a long, long way away from her, and I go and visit her all the time. But I have my freedom. I don't want to be stuck over there and be dominated by my mother. So, I mean, we have perfect understanding. She didn't try to keep me over there neither. Yeah.
Where is over there?
Over there, it was Hong Kong.
Okay.
And I was.
Is your mother still up?
No,
with
she
us or
died.
not?
She died. I looked after her for 5 months before she died. I stayed with her for 5 months. Yeah. But I mean, it's very strange, the relationship, because my sisters are jealous of me because they